Alright, so today I want to take a look at Ubisoft's Skull and Bones beta. The game doesn't come out till February of next year, but they dropped a beta on us that I didn't even know was coming. But what I'll be doing is I'll be taking a look at it on my Nitro Plus 7900 XTX paired with a Ryzen 9 5900X CPU, and we're going to be focusing at 4K. So with that said, let's take a look at the settings first before we jump in the game. We're targeting 4K here on my LG C1 TV, and we're not using VSync obviously. We've removed the FPS limit, and then we've set the graphics pretty much to the maximum. We've turned off adaptive quality, shadows very high. We're just using TAA at native, and environment set to high, so everything's set to high. Then we have ray trace global illumination as well, which I've left on. Okay, so let's jump in the game and see what we get. Now, I think it's important to remember that the game is in beta, right? So it's not final, although I doubt it's going to change all that much, but it's just good to remember.
Perhaps this will help you chart your path forward, friend.
Okay, so we're back into the boat now. And yeah, I mean, just from what I'm seeing here, the game looks pretty good actually. And the performance is actually really, really good. As you can see, the frame times are very smooth, very consistent. And let's make our way towards the objective, I guess, and see what we got to do. So far, I've only done ship combat. So I'm assuming there's also like melee combat and that sort of thing. Boarding ships, I would assume. So we seem to be hovering around 60 FPS, and this is at 4K native, right? With ray trace global illumination on. So the 7900 XTX is actually doing pretty good here. Let's see, can we get out of the ship now? Yes, we can. Alright. That's a pretty good parking job. Alright, there we go. That's my guy there. Kind of a hipster looking guy. Oh, we can cook. That's nice. The game is not a graphical showpiece by any means, but it does look cool. And if I'm being honest, this does remind me of Black Flag, as I'm sure it does to many of you if you played that game. So yeah, this is great. The whole appeal thing for me with this one is that it sounds like it's a, you know, like a Black Flag MMO type of game, right? So I think it's safe to say that, at least in this area of the game at this time, the 7900 XTX can comfortably do 4K 60 natively, maxed out settings. Why don't we try some FSR? I'm actually going to go with FSR balance. See if we can get closer to that 120 hertz. Uh-oh. I forgot that this game does not pause. Okay, so we seem to be at around 100 FPS, at least so far. Let me change the view. There we go. Alright. Force open. When salvaging shipwrecks, advanced step at aiming for color segment pressing. Okay. Oh, I see. Cool. Alright, so here we're going above 120. So I'm getting a little bit of screen tearing here, which is fine because I'm above my monitor's refresh rate. So that's fine. You can always use a frame rate cap to fix that. Still, it has to be said that at least for a beta, this runs pretty well. I mean, there's no stutters or crappy 1% lows, that sort of thing. It's a little clunky, but that's because I'm not really used to the controls. Not yet. But yeah, this game has potential to be a lot of fun. If it is what we think it is, you know, like Black Flag in a sort of a multiplayer MMO form, right? That has the potential to be a lot of fun. I think the goal here is to get to St. Anne, which seems to be maybe some sort of a capital. So that should be a pretty good place to benchmark, because so far, this is just like a tutorial area, you know, there's not a whole lot going on here. I would love to see ray trace reflections in this game, because look at, you can see the screen space being obscured by her head. I don't know, stuff like that can break immersion sometimes. It's not like a big deal, but you know, I mean, I kind of like to look at these things. So ray traced reflections would fix that. Okay, so the way to Saint Anne is clear. We're going to be making our way there. And I also wanted to add the CPU metrics just to kind of see how the load is distributed over the cores. And it actually seems pretty good. From what I can see, there is a bit of a single core dependency. Like you can see one hitting 43%, 48, 50. But other than that, it seems to be fairly evenly spread around. So that's actually good to see that because a lot of games are very single core dependent, or they don't utilize many cores really. So, I mean, obviously this one isn't the best either, but it's doing a better job than a lot of other ones I've seen. So anyway, we seem to be loading here, and they've put in a movie to kind of hide that, I guess. But that's okay. Can we skip it? Doesn't look like we can. As much flack as Ubisoft games get, I do enjoy them. I mean, they make good open world games. I know that might sound a little bit out of touch, but they have the potential to make entertaining. Like for example, Far Cry 6, I thought the story was garbage. Very forgettable characters, but I played through that game in co-op, the entire game, and it was a lot of fun playing in co-op, just discovering and just hunting enemies and stuff like that. It was just a fun game, you know. It's nothing like, it doesn't need to be, not every game has to have the best story. As long as you're having fun, right? That's the point of playing games at the end of the day. So yeah, there seems to be some loading or something going on. That's okay, as long as the gameplay is smooth, I have no problem with it. So this is good because we seem to have arrived at a big city now, which should be more demanding than what the hell's going on here? Okay, the shadows seem to be bugged, but that's okay. I mean, it is a beta, so. But yeah, it looks like a patch of ice here on this tropical island. Yeah, what happened to the performance? Holy cow. Okay, it looks like it's settled. It was loading assets. That's what it was. Yeah. Still, the ground seems to be a little too shiny, but that's okay. Yeah, looks like the performance actually kind of all over the place. Yeah, it was much better out in the open water. Yeah, this is actually pretty bad. I did not expect this actually, for it to be like this. Let's see, we do have a map. Okay. Why don't we try to make our way to the location of our mission? So it's this way. Okay guys, so we went back to our regular metrics overlay, so it doesn't take the whole screen. But yeah, so this seems to be an entirely CPU issue. Not like my CPU issue, but the game essentially. However it is loading this area, you can see this, we can see this actually because our GPU usage is all over the place. So it's not being fed the frames properly, essentially. So I hope they fix that. They probably will. Let's continue on with the story, and maybe we can get out in the open sea. So let's jump back in the ship, get out of this stuttery area, and collect some resources. Set sail. Alright, so I want to see how we navigate here. So I wonder if you can place, can we place a... There we go. We marked it. Okay, that's cool. So you can place waypoints, obviously. Yeah, so it's so much smoother out here, but that city, man, I don't understand why it's so CPU heavy. Like I said, it's a beta, so I'm not really going to judge it. I am curious if that happens just in that particular area, or if it happens whenever you get off the boat. I don't know. Let's see, can we squeeze through here? I have to gather logs. I mean, it sounds like it's supposed to be some yellow circle type of thing, but I don't see it. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so it's more floating stuff. So far we haven't really gotten off the boat unless it's like a specifically designated area. It looks like. Battle stations? Why? Oh, crocodiles. I love how they have crocodiles attacking like what is essentially a big boat. Like what the hell? Oh, they're cutting it. Okay. Oh, I see. It's like a little mini game. Alright, we got the croc. I see. So you just... And then we can loot the crocodile. Okay. So here we go. And then you have to click on the green one. Interesting. So you can either find them on the... floating in the river or just cut the trees down like this. Okay. So that's different. That is very different. I think this is probably going to be it for this video for the 7900 XTX for now anyway. I do want to check out my other GPUs as well. I have 3 more to go. So what I'll probably do is just carry over my journey to those. My thoughts on the 7900 XTX is, yeah, I mean, it's performing great. It's able to do 4K 60 with every setting maxed out, at least in the form that the game is in right now. The only issue I see is that St. Anne City, it's very stuttery, it's very CPU bound, inconsistently so, but obviously the game's still in beta, so I'm not going to really hold it against it. Overall, great performance with the 7900 XTX and 5900X, and yeah, the game is interesting. It's grabbing me. I like MMO type games. I'll see you guys in the next video. Give it a like if you liked it, and consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this, where I just check new games on all my GPUs, essentially. But anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you have a good weekend. Bye-bye. Man, look at all these players with their nice ships. And I'm on a little raggedy, floating barrel, essentially. Oh well. That'll motivate me to get a bigger one.